Hello, welcome. So, I'd like to talk about a very important topic today, and that is the topic of artificial intelligence and how it will impact the future. I have done quite a bit of research on it, and I'd like to say that it is very powerful and it is progressing exponentially. And I think Christians need to be aware of what is going on and how within the next 5 to 10 years the world will look very different than it does right now. Just a few questions to ask yourself. What will the world look like in the future? What Can I trust anything that I see or hear? That's a very good question because right now we are being lied to by the government and by the media, and we know we're being lied to. But in the future, it is only going to get worse because it will be very easy to make the lies look like truth. It'll be easy to make fake videos that look real. And that is what's scary about the future. So, as a Christian, you need to be prepared for this. And this future is upon us. It is coming very soon, as early as 5 to 10 years from now. And in our lifetimes, we will see profound changes in society. And I'm going to talk about those changes in society in this presentation. So, Now, this presentation, what am I going to focus on? What I'm going to focus on in this presentation is talking about what type of technology already exists, what is possible already. And then I will talk about what will be possible in the future. And so if you use a little bit of imagination, you can kind of see how this technology can be used for evil and nefarious purposes in the future because it will only get better. This technology will only improve. So, I mean, we have ChatGPT, which is the one most people are familiar with. We have Midjourney for image generation. We have 11 Labs for voice dubbing and translation. There's different music generation software. You have InVideo. You have Sora, which will be made public probably sometime later this year. And then that's just the technology that's inside, that's digital. We also have physical technology. You have Apple Vision Pro. You have Tesla. You have Neuralink. You have Boston Dynamics making robots. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of companies making technology and they're improving that technology very quickly. So the first thing I want to talk about is our large language models. So ChatGPT is the most famous of this, and basically, a lot of this stuff happened. I mean, artificial intelligence has existed for a lot longer than we realize. And as early as the 1950s, you had a man named Alan Turing, that came up with something called the Turing test, which is a test to determine if an artificial intelligence can fake being a human. So we're not there yet. But if we get to a point where you are speaking to an artificial intelligence and you think it is a human, you are 100% convinced that you are speaking to a real live human, then at that point, that artificial intelligence has passed what is called the Turing test. And that is the point of no return. That is when things get very scary. That is when we have something called artificial general intelligence, which I'll get to in a moment. So, what are some things that have happened so far? Well, you might have heard of Sam Altman. If you haven't, I would recommend you find out who he is because Sam Altman is going to be a very important person in the next 5 to 10 years. His company, OpenAI, made ChatGPT, and he's pretty much the man most responsible for what is currently going on right now. So I would definitely find out who he is and what he's doing. He's also written a very interesting article called the Moore's Law for Everything. You can find it online. Him and he wrote it, and a few other people pitched in. They wrote this giant article about their vision for the future. And it's a very utopian vision. It looks really cool that we're all going to be rich and we're all going to have a lot of free time and a lot of wealth. That is what he is trying to aim for, and that's what they say they're trying to aim for. But remember, there's always the possibility of a dystopian future, which we're trying to avoid. So, So there's been all these different GPTs. The big one is Chat GPT, which is actually GPT 3.5. That came out in November 2022. That is when artificial intelligence ended up on the radar of the public. So prior to November 2022, there really wasn't that much talk about artificial intelligence. Nobody really took it that seriously. Once ChatGPT came out, that is when everything changed. So it became publicly available. People started using it. And that is when society really started to change. Companies started using it. And this is when people started losing jobs. So November 2022, that was Pandora's box was opened. And, all this became public. GPT-4 came out in March 2023, which you have to pay for. And since then, there have been newer iterations of different large language models. Now, ChatGPT is considered the best one. OpenAI really knows what they're doing. Google and Anthropic have also made, large language models. Claude 3 is the newest one that came out. Now, right now, there's other things going on. It's going to keep improving. Maybe GPT-5 will come out later this year. Who knows? It's all speculation at this point. So artificial general intelligence. This is when the AI is as smart as a human and understands the nuances of being a human. Because the problem with ChatGPT right now is that it makes mistakes. It hallucinates. And that's because it's been fed the internet. And the internet has mistakes on it. And, it's smart. It can understand a lot of nuance, but it's not quite human. And it never will be. In its current form, it won't be sentient. But, still, that has not stopped them from trying. They're going to try to create artificial general intelligence. And I think it might be possible by somewhere between 2027 and 2030. I think that they'll be able to come up with this artificial general intelligence, or at least something close to it that makes you think it's a human, even if it really isn't. Some people think they already have it and they just haven't released it. I don't know about that, but that's speculation. So right now, it's already causing big societal shifts. People have already lost jobs because of it. Students are already cheating and using it to write essays. And teachers are worried about the lack of learning and in the future. So right now, what some teachers are doing is they're embracing the AI and they're trying to use it in their curriculum. And I have to say, yeah, that's probably the future. You will have to probably understand artificial intelligence in the future. And if your job is very simple and easily automated, you are in danger of losing your job to artificial intelligence within the next 5 years. So a lot of the simple jobs. So it doesn't really matter if it's a blue collar or a white collar job. Actually, yeah, the white collar jobs are probably more in danger. But if your job is simple and repetitive, if you have a simple and repetitive job, you are more likely to be replaced by artificial intelligence. If you have a job that requires complex thinking, then you're less likely to be replaced. But still, you do want to start learning how to use these tools because they will help you, help you get make it more easier for you to get a job in the future. So there's that. The alternative to that is getting a blue collar job where you just use your hands, do manual labor, and that's probably less likely to be replaced by AI. So it automates tasks. People are going to lose jobs. People have already lost jobs, and they will continue to lose them. By 2030, I estimate there will be huge impacts on society. Probably 20-30% unemployment, possibly. We might have a depression already by 2030. The government will have to step in and do something or risk some kind of revolution. Like, this is no joke. And so, yeah, that is serious now. So you just, all you can do is prepare right now for that. So another question is, can you trust anything that you read or you learn? Because ChatGPT can make mistakes. If people start believing that ChatGPT is God and is the oracle and can tell you anything, people might have too much faith in it, and people might start believing lies, which is already the case. People already don't believe a lot of things that aren't true. And they've been, because anything that pops up on Facebook, they think it's real, or anything they read on the news, they think it's real. And it's not. There's a lot of lies. And it's only going to get worse. because if people start believing ChatGPT when ChatGPT is already biased, then that is a problem. So that's one issue. Now, what is the end goal? To summarize, what they're planning on doing is they hope after they reach artificial general intelligence, probably sometime in the next few years, their next goal is to create what is called artificial super intelligence, otherwise known as ASI. They think they can get this by 2045. This is a long-term goal. They don't know. But artificial superintelligence is when it is as smart as all the human brains put together. This is when you will have a digital super being, super entity, computer ruling the world. So instead of having politicians, having a government, you have this computer running the government. Anyway, so it can get dystopian really quickly. And yeah, so they're obviously, they have good intentions. I believe a lot of people have good intentions, and they're trying to use this technology in a positive way so that it creates a utopia for all of us. But since I'm a Christian and I believe the Bible and I know what the Book of Revelation says, I am obviously going to be a little bit skeptical about this kind of utopian future. And if there is a utopian future, it will probably be short lived because we have the Book of Revelation. We know what's going to happen in the future. So there will be a lot of lies, a lot of deception. But we can see the Book of Revelation. We could. This is the year. 2024 is the year where we have a glimpse of the future, a little bit. We don't see the whole future, but we have a glimpse of it. And this is the year. This is the year where the science fiction, the fantasy, the magic, all of that stuff that you thought wasn't possible, it is starting to become possible. It will no longer be science fiction. It will be fact. It'll be scientific fact. So, little by little, it's hard to imagine what's going to happen in the future, but I can probably give you a little picture of it based on what exists today. And it's only going to get more impressive as time goes on. So if you thought ChatGPT is impressive, just look at the image generation that's possible. So that's my next topic. Yeah, there we go. So right here, I took a Bible verse, Revelation 1:16. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. So I took a Bible verse, I put it into a program called Midjourney. I did this about a year ago, and I got this image. So notice the verse does not say anything about Jesus. It does not have the word Jesus. It does not have the word God in it. And yet, Midjourney knew I was talking about God, and it drew a picture of Jesus with a crown, and he's holding a sword. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's a good picture. I made this in like a minute. I can't draw. I have no artistic abilities whatsoever. And yet I was able to do this. A 5-year-old could do this. Words. So it's no longer programming. You don't even need to code anymore. You just speak words. With words, you create pictures. Just like God, in the beginning of the universe, created the world with words. He just spoke and things came to be. This is an imitation of that. People are speaking things into existence, images, videos, with words. You just speak. The better your vocabulary, the more words you know, the better you can explain what you want, the better quality of a picture you can get. And if you don't like the result, you can just hit the refresh button and get another picture. So the computer does all of the work for me. So I thought it was pretty cool. It did say that the verse does say that the sword comes out of the mouth, out of his mouth when a sharp 2-edged sword. I guess that was a little weird, or, Midjourney didn't really know how to draw a sword coming out of a mouth. So instead, it just has Jesus holding the sword, which is still cool. I still think it's a really cool picture. So it does understand nuance, because notice, like I said, the verse does not specifically talk about Jesus or God. And yet it knew that this is a Bible verse, and it knew that it was talking about God, and it drew Jesus with a crown. So anyway, I thought it was a cool picture. So I did this about a year ago, and since then, the technology's only gotten better. So next I'll talk a little bit about the image generation that exists today. So anyway, you can read that if you want. I'll just talk about some of the highlights. So even back in 2018, you had AI art that sold for over $400,000. That's crazy. So someone with no artistic talent sold a painting made by a computer and made over $400,000. That is insane. By 2020, it was already capable of photorealistic art. So notice at this point, ChatGPT hadn't even come out. Like this stuff wasn't on most people's radar. Most people had no clue. It wasn't until about a year and a half ago that the general public knew this stuff existed. Um, then Dolly came out in 2021. Midjourney came out in July of 2022. So yeah, Midjourney's actually existed for a while. I didn't realize it actually came out before ChatGPT. Then you had Stable Diffusion. The newest software is Ideogram. That came out in February 2024. And so then, like, what's happened so far? You've had AI art winning competitions. You've had manga, comic books, different types of art, all drawn by AI. People have been selling this stuff. There have been manga published using AI art, like 100% AI art, which is crazy. And people have been selling this stuff. An author, using actually someone else used ChatGPT to write a book. That's already happened. There have been people using ChatGPT to write books. It's insane, but yes, that has happened. Um, Another one, AI Instagram model. This one's crazy. Someone just generated a picture of some girl, made her attractive, and then just made her an Instagram account and started, I guess, making pictures. And this account generates thousands of dollars every month. And this girl isn't even real. I think it has like 3 million subscribers, and it's not even real. This girl's not even real. And there's 3 million subscribers on this page. It's insane. Uh, People are insane in this country, in the world. So this is all fake. And obviously she looks fake. I don't know why people actually thought she was real. She literally looks fake. Um, so now you're having copyrights and lawsuits because artistic people are worried about losing their jobs. And there have been jobs lost, and there have been lawsuits over copyrights as well. Um, so artistic, the art people are worried about the future, and they have a right to be, to be worried. So can you trust what you see? It's easy to fake real, like if you can make photorealistic art, then you can make anybody do anything. You can make a picture of there was this picture circulating last year of the Pope wearing this giant coat, that looks really cool. I don't have the picture, but people thought it was real, that the Pope was wearing, drip, as they say. And it was just ridiculous, like, because this picture obviously looked fake, but some people actually thought it was real, that the Pope was wearing this giant white coat and was trying to look cool. So anyway, so people are able to lie. There was another one of like Trump getting arrested. There's all sorts of ridiculous stuff. There's ones of Putin getting arrested. There's videos of Obama, Trump, and Biden playing video games. There's all sorts of stuff on the internet, and it's all fake. It is obviously fake, but the problem is some people think it's real. Some people, if you make it look, like some things are obviously fake, but if you can make it look almost real, people are going to think it's almost real. And that is what's scary. How easy it will be, you will be able to lie with art in the future. So can you trust what you see? So you can't trust what you read online, but you can't trust what you see either. There's a lot of lies. And in the future, we're going to need classes, courses on AI safety, on detecting falsehood. You're going to need to be trained, have an eye trained to see when something is fake. You're going to have to pause videos and look at the details to know, am I looking at something that's real or is this fake? And that is what's scary. Okay, now, honestly, this is what most people use the internet for, right? Like a cat with dumbbells, right? This is what people are using AI art for. Most people are really cool people, very chill. This is what they're making. with AI art. And I totally respect that. This is what the internet should be for. This is what YouTube is for. It's this kind of stuff.